Welcome back to Prop and Seek. It is October 22nd, and we are back today with our NBA best player props of the day for you guys. Do not forget to like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, and all that other good stuff. And I do want to just mention that we did hit 127 views yesterday on our video, and I was psyched about that. That was really exciting, and thank you to everybody who watched. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. But one thing we didn't see much of was comments. So whether it is positive, negative, just give us feedback. I want to see some comments today, stuff you liked, stuff you didn't like. I definitely want to see some of that, and we'll take all that into consideration to try to make the content, the videos better for you guys. So before we jump into it today, also I want to recap yesterday real quick. So yesterday, unfortunately, we did have a losing day, and we went 1-2, and we lost 1.15 units. So RJ Barrett over 20.5 points. That did not hit for us. So the Knicks, they actually beat down the Pistons yesterday. RJ Barrett did not end up playing a ton of minutes. We took that bet like we talked about yesterday, mostly just based on volume. And he didn't have too much volume last night, really, when he was in the game. Plus, he didn't play many minutes. I mean, the Knicks blowing somebody out, that's something you can't really predict. How many times are the Knicks going to blow anybody out throughout the course of the season? Not many times. So, unfortunately, that did bite us yesterday. But play number 2, Zion Williamson over 32.5 points plus rebounds. Did not hit as well because I told you yesterday I looked at that Jonas Valanciunas line as well, and I did consider that, but I ended up going with Zion. I thought it was a safer bet based on the matchup, and no matter what the Hornets threw at them, Zion could play as the big. He could play with Jonas. But yeah, Valanciunas was the one who sliced up that defense and just dominated them and ate up last night. So Zion did not hit that for us. But our one winner of the day was Nikola Vucevic, over 18.5 points. And he did clear that line pretty easily for us. That one was a no-sweat bet. And I think he had like 15 points at the end of the first half. So that was definitely a no-sweat bet. And Vucevic did dominate like we predicted. So yeah, 1-2 day, lost 1.15 units, but let's get back to the green. And don't forget, it's a long season, right? I mean, we have a lot of days of this, so it's all about taking the value, trusting the picks, trusting the percentages, and just, building that bankroll over the course of the season. And let's start doing that today and start winning some money, because we do have 3 plays on the slate for you guys, and I am excited about them today. So let's just jump right into it. Play number 1. That's going to be Luka Doncic to get a double-double. That's minus 140 on DraftKings. This is going to be a 1.5 unit play, and it is my best bet of the day. So Luka Doncic, he had a double-double in 68% of games last season, and I do think that this is going to be a very competitive game. Dallas is facing off against Memphis tonight. And in a lot of these, really just high-end, close neck-and-neck games, Luka Doncic brings out his best back-and-forth situations. So I definitely expect him to, fill the stat sheet tonight against Memphis. And, last season against them, he did get a double-double in 2 of 3 matchups against Memphis. And he even did have a triple-double in one of those 3 games. So maybe even consider sprinkling a little bit of money on that triple-double line. So, yeah, Memphis, I mean, they were middle of the pack last year in terms of, defending point guards and defending wing players. This is a pretty positionless league at this point. I guess you consider Luka Doncic a point guard, but I guess you could also consider him a wing, but nonetheless, I mean, they were middle of the pack, but he did average 30 points, 10.6 rebounds, and 8.6 assists against Memphis last season as well. So he did play well against them, and I expect him to do that tonight and be able to get over in the double digits for either assists or rebounds to get us this best bet of the day to cash. So that is going to be play number 1, Luka Doncic to get a double-double. Now, play number 2, that's going to be Joel Embiid over 38.5 points plus rebounds. That's minus 115 on DraftKings. And this is going to be a one-unit play. So Joel Embiid has not hit this line yet this season. We did see, he dominated against Milwaukee in the first half a couple nights ago, but just fell off a cliff in the second half. I think he shot something like 0 of 7. So he did fall off a cliff in that game. But last year, Joel Embiid hit this over against the Spurs easily in both games. He cleared this line no problem with 50 and 43 points plus rebounds. So it is a really good matchup for Joel today. And the Spurs ranked 28th in points per game allowed to opposing centers last season and 28th in rebounds per game to opposing centers last season. And a lot of that is teams that play drop coverage, right? If Jakob Poeltl is going to play a good amount of minutes tonight, then at that point, I do expect Joel Embiid to be around the rim on every shot attempt. Jakob Poeltl can't stretch the floor, so Joel Embiid's going to be within 10 feet of the hoop on every shot attempt, despite, having to switch out and get on the three-point line here and there to guard a wing or a point guard on mismatches. But he should be able to just camp around the paint and just eat up a ton of rebounds tonight and, hopefully get his offense going too. So that's going to be play number 2, Joel Embiid over 38.5 points. Now, play number 3 is going to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 10.5 assists plus rebounds. That is going to be a -20 play on DraftKings, and it's 1 unit. So SGA did hit this over in the first game of the season, and last year he hit the over in 2 of 3 games against the Denver Nuggets, and he averaged 7.6 rebounds per game and 7 assists per game in those 3 matchups against Denver. So he did have a lot of success against the Nuggets last season, and for good reason. The Nuggets ranked 20th in rebounds per game allowed to opposing point guards and 21st in assists per game allowed to opposing point guards as well. And again, like we just talked about, drop coverage. Nikola Jokic, most of the time they're not playing switch, and he's just going to drop into coverage. So you know what that means is SGA gets in the pick and roll, gets 2-on-1 situations, gets downhill, and I do expect him to be able to pick up some assists tonight against this Denver team and hit that line for us there. And also in game 1 of the NBA season this year, SGA, he did only have 5 assists, but he had 15 assist chances in the first game. So, I definitely expected to get more than 5 in that game. If he gives us another 15 assist chances tonight against Denver, that'll probably adjust to hopefully 7, 8, 9 assists for us. Who knows? He might be able to cash this just off assists tonight, hopefully make it a no-sweat bet for us. But that is going to be play number 3, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 10.5 points plus assists. Now, moving on to the last play. That's going to be our long shot. So our long shot parlay of the day. That's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to get a double-double and Luka Doncic to get a triple-double. That is plus 5,750 on DraftKings. So obviously, all the descriptions and the breakdowns for the regular plays there are my reasoning for the long shot as well as SGA. He had a triple-double last season against the Denver Nuggets in one of the matchups. Luka, he had a triple-double last season in one of the matchups against Memphis as well. So, yeah, obviously it's a long shot, but we're getting crazy odds on it, and I do think SGA does have a chance to get a double-double tonight and get either 10 assists or rebounds, because that actually should be a pretty good game. Despite the Thunder being pretty bad team. When SGA is healthy and when they actually have their guys playing, they're not terrible, and they did play the Nuggets oddly tough last season. I think they beat the Nuggets last year twice. So if that ends up being a competitive game, I could definitely see SGA getting in the double digits for either assists or rebounds, and then Luka Doncic to get a triple-double. He does that here and there, obviously. So I like the matchup too for him just with Memphis. I think that's going to be a really competitive game, and hopefully he's able to get the triple-double for us and cash that long shot. So that is going to be it for you guys. And just to recap before we go, I'll list off the plays one more time. So play number 1, Luka Doncic to get a double-double. That is minus 140 on DraftKings. That's a 1.5 unit play. Play number 2 is Joel Embiid over 38.5 points. That's minus 115 on DraftKings. That is a 1 unit play. And then play number 3 is SGA over 10.5 assists plus rebounds. That is minus 120 on DraftKings and a 1 unit play. And then our long shot is going to be SGA double-double and Luka Doncic triple-double plus 5,750 on DraftKings. So that is all I got for you guys today. Like I said, don't forget to leave those comments today. The positive, the negative feedback, it doesn't matter. All of it is really appreciated. And don't forget, always help us out, with subscribes, likes, all that other good stuff. And we will be back again tomorrow with our NBA player prop picks for the 23rd. So